Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. Hope you're doing well. Hope your holiday season was amazing. Had some time with family and friends. It's counting down to the end of the year. And I thought I'd jump in here and just throw in a little bonus episode leading up to the new year. And I want to talk about 3 things that I think are super important for us as podcasters as we look ahead to 2026. 3 things a podcaster should focus on in 2026 based on where we've been and where I think we're headed. I think these 3 things will really help you in your journey. I'm glad you're here. Happy New Year in advance. Let's get into our conversation. Here we go. So first of all, if you don't have a podcast yet, then these 3 things will come later for you. Your one and only priority is to start. That's it. You need to start before you attempt these 3 key focuses for 2026. None of these will work for you if you don't have a show. So, start. 2026, it's time to start. You've been dreaming about this. You've been thinking about this. People have been telling you you'd be an amazing podcaster. I would listen to your show. You've heard people say that. Oh, you should be a podcaster. Have you ever thought about a podcast? You should start a podcast. People have told you this, and you're like, yeah. I don't even know where to start. Well, you're here. That's a great starting point, and I would love to help you in 2026. So excuses be gone. They're done. Put that away. It's time to start. So that's the first thing. So there you go. If you haven't started, you need to hit stop on this episode. And you need to reach out to me today at howtopodcast.ca and set up time. Let's get you started. No more knowledge, no more learning, no more books, no more courses, no more gurus. Don't pay somebody $2,000 to be a certified podcaster. Don't do any of those things. Go to howtopodcast.ca and let's start your show. For the rest of us with a podcast, here are the 3 things I think we need to focus in on in 2026. As podcasters focus in on the new year ahead and make plans and start to figure out where I want to go in my show and what I want to do, how I can grow this thing that I've already built, and I'm maybe struggling a little bit, or I'm just trying to find my way. What can I do? Well, 3 things, pretty straightforward, and I think it's really going to help you in your podcast. I think that all of us in 2026 should focus on depth over the noise. Shows that feel human, are easy to find, and binge across platforms. Those that are built on durable revenue and community, not just downloads, are going to be the key to success in 2026. The first thing I think we need to focus in on 2026 for us as active podcasters, established podcasters, the first thing is human-first content and format. Audiences right now in podcasting are drowning in choices, and they're drowning in AI slop. And what cuts through all of this is a strong point of view, real personality, and a clear promise for your every episode that you do on your show. Listeners increasingly cite authenticity and host connection as the key reasons that they stick with the show. So if we could sharpen our narrative structure and how we do our show, how we are on the mic, improve our interview craft, and double down on distinctive host chemistry, I think all of this matters more than chasing any of the trends that lie await for us in 2026. The gurus are really eager to sell you something in the new year. And before you go and pay anything for anything related to podcasting, I think we need to focus in on the fact that people come to our show for us as the host, and we need to really focus in on that connection between us and our audience. That's a key element for 2026. If it's not on your radar, you need to add it right now. Human-first content and format has to be number 1 for you in 2026. Second, multi-platform presence, video, and discovery. Now, I'm a traditional audio podcaster. Video for me is extra work, extra time, extra money, extra bandwidth. I love audio. I can jump on, hit record, put it out there, and pretty quickly get my message out to the world without having to worry about video. But at the same time, I know I'm missing an audience that I could be reaching with my show. So without adding any undue stress to you as a podcaster, I think if your podcast is not on video, like an actual video recording of your podcast, so you have a story podcast. To do a video version of a story podcast means you'd have to make a movie, right? It's not a traditional interview side by side, you and a guest. It's not you solo teaching like what I'm doing right now. A story podcast is completely different. True crime. What are you going to do? Make a movie every time you do an episode? That's ridiculous. So video doesn't make sense for everybody. But even if your podcast isn't on video, to some degree, my encouragement for you is to consider how you can be on video. Because anything we do that supplements and supports our podcast through video, I think gives you an advantage over people who aren't. So I'm working on something in 2026 where I'm going to be showing up daily for 365 days straight. I'm going to do my best to do this, but I'm going to use video. I'm going to use social media. I'm going to use Substack. I'm going to use my podcast. I'm going to use a multitude of different ways of reaching out, but I'm going to do an actively post something daily for the entire year of 2026. And that is going to include video. So even if your podcast isn't on video as you record it, you need to be somehow on video. Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, something. But video footage of you talking directly to your audience, maybe giving your thoughts and recap of an interview, maybe telling us what's coming up next week. Something where you show up and we get a little taste of you, I think makes your audience want to lean in even more. Video is one of the primary listening surfaces for many people, especially on YouTube, Spotify, and some selective use of visuals can significantly boost up what you're doing on your show, and it helps support the story. We need to treat an episode as a package that has short clips, social posts, newsletters, SEO-friendly pages. All these things work together for your show. And again, if you're just starting out, this is like where you need to work too. I like a 3-pronged approach for my podcast. I have the audio podcast, which you're listening to right now, and thanks for listening. A video component, something from Dave to you, and then something written. And that written could be in my show notes, that written could be on my website, that written could be an email newsletter, that written can be an online magazine, it could be my Substack, but something written as well. LinkedIn, articles, those are all written. So those 3 approaches, audio, video, and written word, work together and support each other. And it's not like I'm just taking one and transforming it. So taking audio and making it into a video, taking my audio and turning it into a blog. They're written and videotaped and recorded audio-wise specific to the format. So keep that in mind. It's not just one thing for everybody. You have to tailor it for each of the different platforms. This is going to give you an advantage in 2026. So I've seen people who say, I'm going to go all in on video. And after a few months, they're like, why am I doing this? I'm getting, 10% of my video watched. I'm getting very little engagement on video platforms. My audience isn't growing and I'm spending a lot of money, a lot of time. I'm getting myself all ready. I have a great background. I use expensive tools and it's not giving me a return on my investment. So a video version of your podcast may not be what you need in 2026, but you, I would suggest, need to be somehow on video so that the people who love you can get a little closer to you and a little closer to your content. So multi-platform presence, video and discovery. Again, even if your podcast isn't on video, you should be in 2026. So keep that in mind. Number 3, community, monetization, and the smart use of AI. The strongest shows are the ones that are treating listeners as a community, not just a bunch of numbers on your stats. It's not just an audience. Using your memberships, your live events, your meetups, like we do here at the How to Podcast series, any direct interaction that can deepen loyalty between you and your listening community, and anything you can use to diversify your income beyond ads. All of these things are really important in 2026. AI is becoming a standard for editing, for transcripts, and content repurposing, but creators who use it to free up time for higher quality storytelling, not to replace their voice, will be best positioned as market grows and the competition intensifies. There are people who are creating content through AI automatically, taking articles, taking website links, creating a podcast, and they don't even listen to it. They release it out into the world, and if it's true, if it's right, if it's great, if it's wrong, whatever, and they're just flooding the market with content. And it's not that great. Sure, they're the first to get something out. They can respond in lightning seconds to anything that's happening in the news. But is it really that great? Is it true? It's not human. And what we're up against that as far as listening time. When we talk about competition in podcasting, everybody's like, there's no competition, everything, we're all friends here. But the one thing we are competing with is there's only a finite amount of time every day, every week, every month, every year for somebody to listen to a podcast. So you are competing against the flood of AI stuff that's coming into podcasting. You are competing against that other podcaster who talks about what you talk about. I've got podcasts about podcasting that people tell me about all the time and how much they enjoy them. And I'm like, okay, I know who my competition is. And I know that I'm outworking them in my frequency. So I know I have a better chance of being found than they do because they do one a week. I'm here 3 days a week, even more. So I know I'm outworking them. And I know I'm going to catch more attention just by doing that. And that's my approach. We have competition. And as much as you'd like to say we're all friends, and I do believe that even the people who talk about podcasting, a lot of them are my friends as well, we are competing. We're competing for time. So remove that from your mind that all podcasters are not competitive, because we are. We want our show to be listened to. We want our show to be in the top 3 for you to listen to on your app. We want to be the one that you listen to first. And we want to grow our community. All of us want that. And that means that's at the expense of somebody else. So community, monetization, and the smart use of AI are super important in 2026. Don't give your show over to AI so that you are not creative anymore. Don't give your audience over to AI and use bots instead of you to communicate with them. You need to show up and maybe leverage some of the AI tools to give you back your time so that you can show up better for your audience. That's a great use of AI. If it can take something that took you hours to do and turn it into seconds, take those hours remaining and go spend time with your audience. That's what I would suggest in 2026. The key takeaway in 2026, the edge goes to podcasters who sound unmistakably human, who show up everywhere their listeners are, including social media, including TikTok. They show up everywhere. And they build sustainable ecosystems around their shows instead of chasing single metric vanity wins and advertising. That's the key takeaway for 2026. And there's going to be people who are going to tell you something different. And you have a choice right now. You can go listen to people who want you to turn your podcast into a business. And if you don't make money with your podcast, you're not a successful podcaster. And you really shouldn't be here. Or you can listen to this show where we bring out the truth. And we help you on your journey as a podcaster. So you can trust me or you can go trust them. But you need to make a decision and make that decision and follow through and focus on what you think is going to help you in 2026. And I hope it's this show. And I hope it's the fact that you and I get to work together, because I haven't been in podcasting forever, but I have been doing it a long time, and I've been doing a lot in a long period of time. So I would love to help you with your show. And if you trust me and you believe in what we do here on the How to Podcast series, then we need to get together and have a conversation, because 2026 is your year. And if I can be a small part of that, I'm thrilled. howtopodcast.ca. happy 2026. I'll see you on the other side. Hey, thanks for being here to the end of the episode. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to all the players and all the apps. You're telling the apps, this is a podcast worth listening to. So you've just made this show better. So thank you. Now, I've had people reach out to me and they're like, Dave, I need to start a podcast and I'd love to start. But when I come to your show, there's a lot of episodes and I don't know where to start. How do I skip the line? How do I get to where I want to be without listening to over 500, 600 episodes? How do we make this happen? I love what you do, but I want to just get going. Well, I do offer consultations on podcasting and helping you and launching podcasts and coaching and mindset and everything. Technology, interviewing techniques, whatever you can think of, I can help you with. And I have some paid offerings then to help you with that. So if you want to skip the line, great. You and I can work together. Let's figure out what you can afford. Let's figure out what we can do together. Always happy to help. Understand, though, this podcast is always going to be free. So you can bypass paying anything for anything because this show is always free. The meetups that we do, which is podcast consulting in a community setting, always free, twice a week. Over 2 years we've been doing it. There's always a free option. I'm not going to charge you to be here as a listener. But if you want to skip the line and kind of condense 500 plus episodes, then let's work together, you and I together. And I have some paid offerings. Reach out to me. We can talk about it. howtopodcast.ca. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to the end. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you being part of this community. Always free, but always helpful. It's a How to Podcast series. Thanks for being here. Cheers. Okay, you're still here. Great. I appreciate you hanging around. Everyone else is kind of gone. They're probably going to go head out and get ready for the new year. You're still here. I'm thrilled to have a few more minutes with you. A frequent question I get in podcasting, and I do these bonus question and answers at the end because I want to honor your time and I want you to walk away with even more value than the people who listen to the episode. So again, thanks for being here. The question I get is, Dave, how long does it take to build an audience, to build a podcast before I can see significant audience engagement? Maybe I can make some money with my show when I can see that I'm building a relationship with my community around my podcast. How long does it take? Now, the quick answer is it depends. And that's a pretty popular answer for every question in podcasting, but it does depend on whether you already have a community before you start. If you're starting from zero and nobody knows who you are and you're a first-time podcaster, no social media presence, it's going to take some time. You're building something from scratch. You're building a customer base, just like a store opens up and nobody knows what it is. Nobody has no idea what you sell. It's going to take some while for people to trust you and actually walk through the door. So it's not like people are lined up out of curiosity just because you opened a store. It does take time. So I would say, depending on what you bring to your podcast, significantly impacts or detracts from the timeline. For most podcasters that I work with, they tend to be in podcasting for about 3 years before they see something significant happen with their audience. And in that time frame, you're in 150 episodes roughly if you're doing one a week, over 150 episodes. So that's kind of a marker as well. This is not you've been in podcasting 3 years, but you've only released 20 episodes in 3 years. That's not the number. It's you being active and showing up on a consistent basis for 3 years with one episode a week, for example. People got to build you into their routine. They got to trust you before they will do anything to support you, to reach out to you, to buy you a coffee, send you a voicemail, send you an email, reach out to you, join your meetup. It's going to take a while. My meetup community, for example, has been going for over 2 years. We have 70-ish people who have signed up for the meetups and maybe 10 to 12 that show up on a regular basis. So 60-ish people sign up as curious people but never show up. Right? So that's kind of a representation of what happens in podcasting. release an episode, 10 people listen, 1 person responds, 9 people never do. So you're building a community. So my encouragement for you, if your goal is to make money, to build engagement, all that stuff in the future, then start now. Create that Buy Me a Coffee. Create that SpeakPipe. Create opportunities for people to leave you messages. Put your calendar out there for people to get a hold of you and spend time with you. Be on other podcasts. All these things work really well. Build community. Have guests on your show. It's not just about people knowing about your show. They need to know about you. People need to know about you. People need to be talking about you when you're not even there. That's the best part of podcasting. So if you want to grow your show, you want to have significant impact and possibly make money with your show, looking at 2 to 3 years of dedicated involvement with an audience, building over time. It's not going to happen in 3 episodes. It's going to take time. So if you're thinking I'm going to leave my job in 2026, I'm going to start a podcast and I'll be paying my mortgage in 3 weeks, that's a big ask. So have the ability and fortitude and planning to build something in the sides of your life, in the margins, until you're ready, until your audience has showed up for you, and build into your audience from day one that you want engagement. Because whether you're going to sell ads on your podcast or you're going to do something for yourself, engagement is the metric you want to see in your show before you go down the path of putting commercials in front of your audience or trying to sell them on a product, a course, whatever, a book that you wrote. Build engagement first. Buy Me a Coffee, SpeakPipe, emails, DMs, social media, be a guest, all those things. Build that now with the idea that in 2 to 3 years, this is going to turn into something amazing. But don't stop. Don't give up. And when you need help and you have questions, come to our meetups and reach out to me anytime. You know how to reach me. Take care. See you on the next episode.